Hello and welcome back. I hope you've been having a wonderful week. Welcome on back. And what do I have in store for you today? If you have not been watching along on Twitch, I have recently been delving into gameplay. It's very new for me. I'm not a gameplay simmer. I like to build. That's my comfort zone. We've started gameplaying. It's been so much fun. But in this gameplay, we've decided to update one of the Get to Work spaces, specifically the Science Center. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. I'm going to be showing you a lovely little speed build of what's going on so you can see it. Here is some imagery of what it looks like as standard in the game, so you can see it's okay. It's not got the best layout. It's very difficult for your Sims to move around. Having things on different floors and where you have to pan the camera to find things is very frustrating, at least in my experience. I like to be able to see everything in one spot and like have my Sim walk around as easily as possible instead of me chasing her around with the camera trying to get her to do things and find the other staff members. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So keep this in mind because this is all about to disappear and I'm about to build something brand new. Here we go. First things first, if the screen's looking a little bit weird and you can't see what's going on at the bottom, my recording messed up, so I've actually had to pull the VOD from Twitch, which is why we feel super zoomed in and why there's this orange box here. This is my webcam box normally on Twitch. Halfway through, I do go back to full screen, but there's just going to be a portion where you might see some emotes and stuff flying around. I'm sorry, my recording software messed up, so I've done my best to make this work for you guys. But let's get on into the build. Obviously, you know, we're in the science layer. My whole Let's Play is based in Oasis Springs at the moment, so the desert is a vibe for us. And yeah, here we are. We're starting on an empty lot just because, you know, it's easier. And we're here just trying to make the shape. It took me so long to come up with a concept. And then I was like, well, this kind of looks like a ladybug. Let's just kind of go with this. And I don't know what it is about hexagons. I always associate like hexagons with tech buildings. I don't know if that's a me thing. It most likely is a me thing. I don't think many people have that brain connection that I have right now, but that's kind of where we went with this. So we've got these big glass roofs. As you can see here, I was struggling to work out the roof. So in the end, we swapped these around to make the smaller section the big tower, and yeah, then that way the roofs didn't clash over. But these little dome moments I am here for, especially with it being in the desert as well. I'm a bit like, I don't know, like they're little eco domes of life, of like all the little plants. I didn't know at this point it was going to be a plant heavy build, but oh, there's those emotes. But you see it happen as the build progresses. But for right now, I'm just kind of making domes of like these big long hallways. Someone said this looked like the Steam logo at the moment, and I can't deny it. It wasn't intentional, but maybe I'm obsessed. But I wanted a lot of glass. I wanted it to feel very open, very modern, but still like high tech. So you'll see all these windows are going in. We got the grass roofs. We got these big glass dome roofs. Lots of organic material kind of thing, like this big gray stone. I wasn't sure what to do here. Originally, my idea was to have this as like a greenhouse. You'll see that plan changes later on. But my plan originally was to have that as a greenhouse. And then I realized, you know what? I don't have as much space as I thought I did in this build. But we all come to that realization together, and that's fine. That's fine. So the idea is like you have like the little pods kind of going through, and I don't know, maybe it's also quite space themed. I'm not sure. But here I am just trying to sort out window placement. I think the hexagons or maybe octagons, I don't know how many walls I've got going on, made it really difficult for me to figure out the window placement. Again, we eventually get there and it makes sense. So here's the reception area. I'm getting so distracted by these emotes. I was really unsure how to lay this out. I think we end up leaving this room till the very end for us to decorate because I was just trying things. I was like, nothing feels right. I was like, I want this to feel like a very modern, luxurious, high-end tech firm. And obviously I don't spend any of my time in spaces like that. So I had no idea what I was trying to create. I was like, I want there to be places for sofas while you're waiting for like the CEO or something to give you a tour of the lab to show you where your investment's going. That was the kind of vibe I wanted, but I really struggled to come up with it. So we leave it to the end. I think it works out in the end. This is the main lab. Again, the problem that I had here is it's a huge open space. Oh my God, look at the rocket. We put the rocket in the tower and you can see it through the glass. That is so stinking cool. Fully functional, by the way. The rocket does go through that glass roof. So if you're worried about gameplay, it works absolutely fine. I have tested it. It's fully functional, which is just so stinking cool. I love it so much. This little outdoor space, just so you could get up there because I couldn't fit the stairs inside. But yeah, so here I am on the main lab and I was like, this is a really large open space. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to furnish a large open space. It is so difficult. You need some kind of wall or structure to like break it up and just create zones. So the smaller section, we decided to make like the work zone. So you're gonna have like your analysis machines and your synthesizers for the serums and your computer desks there. I want it all in a central hub. Again, I hate when my sim has to walk all over the place and I am chasing them with the camera and trying to find their colleagues. So we end up with like this little pod section, which is where all the computers are gonna go. We got a few extra desks just for some extra clutter, you know me. I'm a clutter goblin. I do not care that I'm a clutter goblin. I love it. See, I told you this was originally going to be the greenhouse. And then I was like, oh, where's the staff room going to go? This hallway instead becomes my greenhouse. You can see the realization here. I'm like, okay, let's have the hallway a greenhouse. In the original build, they had something similar, but it was a lot underutilized, I would say. Also, I added this eco wall in. Apparently you can turn this into a meat wall. I was horrified when I found this out, so obviously I want to do it for my sim. Obviously. But yeah, in the end I used this hallway as the greenhouse instead. My favorite trim, did you guys see that? That's a fence that you can use as like a skirting board. Great little tip that is. Here we are. Right, this is what I was talking about with walls. So I'm adding in like these glass panels almost as like blast shields. I mean, those are microscopes in there. They're stinking huge. I don't know why the microscopes are so big in The Sims. But yeah, I kind of put those behind glass to make it feel a little bit more safe. This, obviously, I forgot where a bathroom is gonna go. If you've watched any of my builds live, I forget the bathroom every time. So I had to add an extra pod in. Me sorting out windows again. I was getting so frustrated with this zone because in the original build, it also has gym equipment that you have to fit in. So we came up with this concept instead, like a big open plan kitchen staff area, which is going to have like this little island seating section with Batu chairs. I love the Batu chairs. I love the Batu pack till I die. Yeah, I thought it was like a nice little open concept kitchen. I like the wood tones. Again, it makes it feel very eco, in my opinion. I don't know why I associate wood with eco. I mean, trees, I guess, but yeah. This is the gym. Right, I had to put a gym in. I didn't want to put a gym in, but some of your work tasks during the day when you're working on your get to work lot is to like run on the treadmill for 30 minutes. So you have to make sure that any equipment that was there is then placed back in. And I had such a headache with it. Like I needed a bookshelf as well. So we added that teeny tiny bookshelf in there to make it work. And in the end, it, again, all play tested, it all works in case anyone's wondering. But it made it very frustrating to try and fit everything into this shape that I had come up with. Because it's not a very friendly shape. This was such a cool idea. I used the back of the showers as a wall. I raised those mirrors up using the 9 key. Remember, you can tap the 9 or the 0 key to raise or lower items. Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I'm so proud of that bathroom. This is me just adding lots of clutter. Like I was like, let's add pipes and vents and all that good stuff in here. Just more clutter to try and make it feel techie, but that it was being used kind of thing. And like I said, you have to make sure that every object that was originally in this build goes back in. Any functional item, that is. So if you wanted to make your own from scratch, you could either put everything to the side like I did and then drag it all back in, or you can just pull a list off Google and use it that way to make sure you have all the items. But for me, it was just easier to put every single item to the side and then just drag it back in, just in case, because like there's even silly things like you might get told to transfer a patch of grass. So I had to make sure that there was grass outside. I love this area with the is this the invention machine? It looked so cool. Me and my chat were discussing that it reminds me of something from Fringe. If you ever watched that show, let me know in the chat. We also added in, you saw it a little moment ago, loads of clutter that has the focus aura, which means whenever my sim is in close proximity, it immediately makes her focus, which again, when you are trying to get breakthroughs and get promotions in the workplace, they're just a great little, oh, I'm in the way. They're a great little tip. So we add some more in here. I'm just adding some extra bits. But yeah, it makes my sim super focused, which means she gets more breakthroughs. She's more likely to get promoted and things like that. So keep that in mind. Yeah, look, there's some more there. Add in some little final clutter details. Told you, we come back to the reception at the end because I did not know what to do with this place, but someone suggested having big screens. Maybe these show like the promotional trailers of what this company does to investors. I feel like anyone that is visiting this biotech firm, maybe, is that the word? I don't know. They want to be selling to them. So that's kind of where we went with that. I really wanted like a low bookshelf. There isn't one in the game that looks good. So here is me struggling with that. And in the end, I end up using island counters. These are really good. These are jungle adventure ones. And you know what? They serve the purpose of exactly what I needed them to do. I wanted a magazine station and a coffee station. And again, adding that plant life in. I think this is where I start to go ham on the plants. I love doing that trick. Where you size an island, you only can size an island counter down. You can't do a counter, it has to be an island counter. You can size those down with your bracket keys, your square bracket keys. It's a great little tip and I use it pretty much every build now and I love it. But here we are, this is where I start to go plant heavy. I'm like, let's really show what this eco plant life tech firm is all about. So yeah, we got lots of greens, lots of wood tones, and I just go a bit bonkers. I'm not even sorry for how many plants I add into this build. I have a plant problem. I am the first to admit it. I like these posters as well for like maybe locations that they have their labs. I thought that was a great tip, these things. But yeah, and just adding lots of different variations in. We're using a little quarter tile placement here. If you press Control F, you can get little triangle tiles for flooring, which is handy when you want to do a smaller area like that. Again, fantastic little build tip, can just help add that extra little layer to it. And we also done that trick of adding that fence around it just to give it more of a like proper trim. I just think it's so pretty. Here we go, adding some more clutter, lots of plants. All the plants, honestly, couldn't get enough of them. Could not get enough of them. I told you, I go a bit crazy, but this is when I was in my happy space. Because I don't build modern, I find modern builds really difficult. So here I am, just adding lots of greenery in, and I think it actually worked really nicely with like all the harsh metal and grays and stuff in this build. So I just go a bit ham, adding some more pipes in as we go along. I also turned them green because I was like, oh, it's alluding to like that grass vibe just a little bit more. But yeah, adding some more to this because this table I don't believe is functional. So I just started stacking plants everywhere on it. I was like, maybe there's a little bit of chemistry going on here with these plants. I don't know. But I wasn't going to question it too much. I thought it looked cute. Adding some more on the walls, little bits of bamboo. I'll be honest, I actually probably could have added a ton more plants in the staff room. Instead, I just done like appliances. I added some mugs, ovens, microwaves, just anything that they might need. We've got the sink there. I just love the sink in the middle. Yes. I gave this little thing a podium. I don't even know what it's called, but you have to build it very early on in the career. So I was like, you know what? Let's give it its own little moment. Here's the bathroom. Oh, add in the little dressing gowns, obviously. A little bit of clutter. We don't stop on the clutter. We love the clutter. More plants! Like, you can never have enough, right? If anyone tells you you've added too many plants into your build, you know what I want you to do? Add more plants. Wherever there was a spot, even in this little gap in this hallway to the bathroom, I was like, you know what that needs? It needs plants. But yeah, now we're getting to the fun bit outside. Here I am terrain painting. Terrain painting takes forever, but it is so worth it. It will elevate your builds to the next level. So what I always do first, I do shading under everything. We add a little bit of a shadow, a little bit of dirt, you know, just to give it some weight on the ground, make it look like it's not floating. So you're seeing a very quick sped up version of this. but I do it around the whole build. And any furniture that's outside as well, you want to put some shadows under it. We will also then do this under any plants that go outside. Again, just give it a little bit of dirt, make it look like it's actually in the ground. Here we go. Now we've got the path coming. I love a wiggle path. I just like, it makes sense to me. We just give them a little wiggle path. Now, originally when I started decorating out here, these are the plants that you have to include. So those were first in. You'll see in the second version where I really rely on like cactuses and anything that is very much a desert plant. Originally, I went very lush jungle with it. And I was like, that doesn't really make sense. The whole point of like these biodomes is to keep the plant life in there alive. So I changed to this basically, and I just start adding grass. I add these little trees, cactus. I add rocks all the way around it as well. And then we'll go in and shade it all again. Just give it, there you go. Just to give it a little bit more weight. It's so subtle. You might not think it's gonna make a difference. In my opinion, it makes a difference, but I love landscaping in The Sims. It's like my happy time at the end of a build, how I know that I've finished it off. Look at that. Look at how just adding just that little bit of soil under it, a little bit of dirt. There's some rocks. And then we have this telescope. Again, it's huge. I don't know why it's so big, but I had to incorporate it in some way because our Sims are gonna need it. So I just make this very light little dirt path to it, right at the front, just in case any of the Sims need it, that's where they can go. In the original build, I think it was like up 2 flights of stairs. So again, super inconvenient. Whereas now they just go out the front and it's super easy and you can find your Sim or their colleagues. Well, that's what I was saying. Do it under any furniture. Make sure you shade under furniture. And there it is, guys, look at it. Right, let's take a little tour. What should we name this lab? I don't even know. But here is reception. And like, I like that you can see straight through to those decontamination showers before you can even get into the lab. I just think it's such a subtle little thing, but I think it looks amazing. We've got the big TVs. We have the seating areas, our reception desk where Mary sits every morning. We always gossip with Mary when we go to work. You can actually see her out the window with pink hair. We got a coffee station. Yeah, on this tour, you will see Sims just kind of frozen in place. And that's because I couldn't move them because of the way that the get to work builds work, but pay no attention to them. Here's the entrance to the lab then. Oh, it just looks so swish. Here is our little computer pod where all of our staff members work. You can see there's plants, there's plant pots, there's files where, you know, everyone's just being busy. They're just trying to work on some plant science. I don't know what that plant science is, but they're working on it. We got our analysis machines here and our synthesizer for the serums. This is what I'm talking about. So to gameplay in this building is so functional. If you have played the science career, you'll know your Sim is walking all over the place. Not anymore, they're not. You will find them in 3 zones, and I find that so much more enjoyable. Look at that. Look at that view. Yes, let's go further in. You'll see all the hard drives. We've got plants on this experimentation table. We've got focus moodler items dotted around so that our Sim will make sure they get the job done. We'll get those breakthroughs. Also, I love how this is on a platform. I just think, yes, chef's kiss. Through here is where we then go into the greenhouse. It's a little walk-through greenhouse. I still think it's cute. It does the job. You can see the staff room just at the very end there, again, with some of our colleagues in there. But it's just so bright and like inviting. I love this. I think this is so cool. I normally don't build a kitchen big enough to have like a huge island like this, but oh my gosh, I love it. So functional. So we've got a few dirty dishes and stuff dotted around, a couple of files. Maybe they're working on their lunch break. We got the chess table for your logic skills. We got a little seating area there as well. I will say though, none of my Sims really sit there. They all go to reception to chat to Mary when they're working on their lunch. Here is the giant microscope. Don't know why it's so big, but each of those have their own little section behind some glass. We have the bathroom through the back at there. It's just, everything has such a nice open flow to it, and I love it. We even added like little alarm bells everywhere just in case something was to go drastically wrong. Through this door is how we get to the rocket at the top. So you go out into like a little outdoorsy area. We got our satellite there. But yeah, you go straight up these stairs. You end up in the rocket room. And the rocket room is my favorite. Like I said, completely functional as well. The rocket will go straight through that top roof and you'll have no problem. Your sim can go explore space. It's bloody brilliant. So this is the build, guys. I love it. I love it so much. There you have it, guys. I hope you love this speed build as much as I did. It's our eco-science vibe tech center kind of thing going on. I love it. I'm obsessed with plants, but you already know that. So if you want this in your save file, it'll be on the gallery soon for you. You can go download it. Remember to do, I think it's like free build when you're in the get to work lot, but I will link the instructions fully below if you want to update your get to work spaces as well. But the get to work career legacy science career let's play that I'm doing, I'm working on editing the live streams down into episodes for you on YouTube. I mean, I go for about 9 hours live on Twitch for each episode, so it's a lot of content to condense, but I'm working on it. So if you guys want to watch along soon, they will be available on YouTube, but for now they are on Twitch if you want to go see them. I'm Lifeandbeth on there as well. But that's it for me this week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.